Woman Sky Good does the great job. She rescues wild animals who have fallen into traps. This time she helped a poor bobcat that was very scared and aggressive. Bobcats can be rather dangerous, so the woman used a plastic riot shield that she had made. The animal didn't let Sky get closer for some time, but the rescuer managed to trap its paw with the help of a hole in the shield. Setting free the wild cat, Sky backed off. The animal's behavior was unpredictable and the woman had to be very careful. The bobcat hesitated for some time, but then ran away. In the early morning after snowfall, the rescuers from the Paws Town channel heard a faint meow on the way to the morning exercise. When he saw a motionless kitten, his heart got almost broken. The sad thought flashed in the mind, but touching the poor thing, he saw it was alive. The kitten was obviously frozen and needed urgent help. The rescuer brought the poor little thing home quickly and started massaging him to warm him up. With the help of a syringe, the man gave the little boy some milk and watched his condition. In a few minutes, the kitten became more active and even could stand on his feet. Now, he was safe. It was a lucky day for the little fellow. Stuck her head into the tree, but could no longer pull it out. No matter how the cow wriggled, she could not manage to free herself from the wooden fetters. Fortunately, rescuers came to her aid. With the help of an axe, they widened the gap, so the cow was able to get free. Then she joyfully ran back to her herd. Elephants usually can't get out of deep wells, neither children nor grown-ups. In this story, a mom and a calf got into serious trouble and needed people's help badly. There was too much water in the well, and the animals were losing their chance to survive with every minute. With the help of an excavator, the rescuers created the space for water to go and to make the way for animals to get out. It was tiresome work, but the people really managed to save the family. Let's hope they won't get into such trouble again. People from Rescue Kitten channel help different animals in critical situations. This blind kitten was found in house debris. He couldn't see because of terrible purulent substance that covered his eyes. The rescuers took the baby to the shelter, where he had a month-long treatment. It turned out that there had been no serious damage to his eyes, but that could be because the infection could play serious effect on the eyesight. A month later, the boy became a healthy and playful creature. In the Siberia region, Russia, an ordinary vet surgeon decided to help the animals that had lost their limbs. This is Dimka the cat. Some time ago, the cat had lost during the summer and had spent almost 3 months trying to survive in the unknown place. The kind-hearted woman found poor Dimka and took her home, but it was too late. That year, the temperature in the region was 30 degrees below zero, and Dimka lost all her paws. But she was lucky. Sergei Gorshkov, a famous vet surgeon, designed and created new paws for Dimka and operated on the cat. Now Dimka moves very quickly on her new on Lake Marshmiller. The family noticed a terrible sight. A bear was swimming in the lake with a plastic can on his head. Without hesitation, they sailed to him, and after a few attempts, they managed to remove the bottle from the bear's head. The family was very happy that they could help the bear, and the bear himself was able to calmly swim towards the shore.
Yes! Gotcha!
Yeah, go! We saved our little bear!
Good job, buddy!
Arriving on call about an abandoned dog, rescuers were shocked by how many ticks were on this dog. There were at least 100, if not thousands of them. They sucked all the strength out of the poor fellow. The emaciated dog was waiting for the help of a man, and rescuers took her to the veterinarians. The doctors immediately began the process of cleaning the poor creature of ticks. The doctors removed the ticks from the poor dog's body step by step. The dog did not resist. For hygienic reasons, her coat was shaved. After making sure to remove the last tick, the doctors began treatment. They gave her a personal cage. She was happy to receive her home with Winter is full of dangers for wild animals, and one of them is to fall under the ice. Volunteers from SLVFD just went to help such an animal in need. He fell into the winter lake. To help the deer get out of this trap, men broke the ice in the path of the poor animal. They sailed to the side, clearing the way and directing the deer to the shore. It was evident how hard he was trying to get out of the lake. He was very cold and scared. He already had not much strength and took his time to get out. The tired but brave deer was finally happy to get on shore and quickly rode off into the distance. People from Happy Dog Channel rescue dogs around the region and help them to find loving homes. This cute little puppy was helplessly stuck in the fence. Its head got into one of the holes, and it was difficult to help it out. The rescuer didn't have any instruments and had to go home to bring them to the place of trouble. He had to be in a hurry, as every minute counted. On coming back to the poor pup, he widened the hole, and the dog was free and fine again. The poor fellow was scared, so the workers of the center tried to make friends with it and comforted the puppy. The plastic, nets, and waste in the sea are a great problem. This poor turtle was found tangled and covered with all this stuff, being exhausted. Some friendly local people from Makunudu Island caught it and uncovered all that garbage and let it go. Luckily, she was uninjured, so she went back to the ocean. All the people on their channels need your support badly, and do help them with your likes and subscriptions. The road is a dangerous place for stray dogs. This dog became a victim in a road accident. She was hit by a motorcycle. Animal Aid Unlimited had been called, reported the incident, and asked for help. The dog was lying down. She could not get up. The victim was carefully wrapped in a blanket and taken to the doctor. The poor thing was very depressed. After examining, it became clear that there were no fractures. She could not stand, but there was still a slight reaction in her legs. There was fear that the dog might have a head injury. She could not keep her balance. The poor thing didn't even want to eat, but fortunately, she took all other care with pleasure. She ate only the next day, and every day after, she was getting even better. She liked her time at the physiotherapist very much. After 2 weeks later, she could already stand. She was called Callie. The love and care of the guys from Animal Aid Unlimited gave her the desire and strength to recover. And after a while, she finally recovered and joyfully wagged her tail. A man from Kitten is a Life in North Africa project found a kitten on his way to the shop. In the streets, there are a lot of cats with kittens. Sometimes they're abandoned or lost from their mothers, as this boy was. He was in a very dirty place and was obviously starving. The scared creature hid in the big tube from his rescuer, and the man tried to attract him with food. The little boy came to have some food, and the man managed to take him out. The rescuer took him home. There, the kitten ate and played with pups and cats living in that place too. Many birds fly away, but sparrows stay in their usual places. Of course, some of them suffer from intense cold. The tiny legs of this birdie froze to a metal rod, and the poor little creature couldn't fly away. The man noticed the bird by chance, by lucky chance I should say. He was gently warming it for some time with his hands, trying not to hurt the small wings of the stressed sparrow. But it didn't help, so the man decided to try his hot breath. Surprisingly, the birdie was sitting calmly. Maybe it knew that the man was helping it out. At last, everything was okay and the rescued sparrow could fly. The surface of the reservoir is covered with ice and always carries many different dangers for animals. While on the ice, they can easily fall through, as well as slip and fail to get up. This happened with a small deer in the city of Grafton this winter. This baby deer slipped on ice and got stuck to it, even though being close to the shore. Firefighters went on ahead to rescue the poor baby deer. To prevent the animal from panicking, it was decided to approach from the side of the lake. The deer was helped to get out onto the ground, and we can also learn a lesson about the dangers of walking on ice. Not only fish gets on the net, for example, this fox also got on the net, on the football net. His leg got messy, and rescuers from Wildlife Aid came to his side. To free the animal, he was first seized with a special loop. The boy resisted. He did not understand what was happening. But soon he was safely released and taken to the doctor. The veterinarian treated the wound and left the boy for 2 days to recover. A couple of days later, the fox was already released into his native forest. I hope neither he nor the other animal will get, but the mud pulled him deeper and deeper. Officer John Kuligowski swam to the poor fellow on the boat, and the dog was already pulled up to his neck into the lake. The man took out the drowning dog by the collar and helped him find a harder surface on which to get out of the mud trap. A leash was attached to the dog, and another policeman from the shore lured the poor fellow to land. This poor dog got in the water, but this time in the ice-cold water. The frightened dog could not get out by himself. Initially, the Baltimore police tried to save him. They tried to grab him with the rope, but had to call for help. Soon, the boat patrol arrived. They too were unable to catch the frightened dog right away. So, a brave policeman took care of the situation. He jumped into the water himself and rescued the poor boy. Animal Aid Unlimited employs real heroes. They save the lives of animals every day. It's amazing how many dangers lie in wait for animals in our world. Sometimes they got their head stuck in a plastic bottle or in an iron grate. Other times there is a leg in a fence or in a door. Animal Aid Unlimited India received a call kitten that hid under the track. When the rescuers approached the track, the scared kitten moved to another car. The team had to do a lot of tricky actions to catch the little boy. The main problem was that he could run in any direction, and the chance to help him could be lost. Luckily, the kitten got inside the car and made it possible for the rescuers to catch him. The rescuers brought the little cutie to the vet to check his condition. It was so inventive while hiding from the people that the team called him Professor. Fortunately, Professor was completely okay and was sent to a foster house to wait for his new family. Homeless dogs living in the street often have to find a shelter in piles of trash. This dog suffered greatly from mange and was not sure to survive in that place for long. She was so weak that she didn't resist when the people from Hope for Paws put the leash on her. Giving the poor thing some food, the rescuers managed to attract her to the car to take her to the hospital. In spite of her condition, she was trustful. Even when doctors were examining the creature, she didn't move and let them do what they needed to. Miley, as the rescuers called the dog, suffered from mange, parasites, bacterial infection, and a lot of time for recovering was required. In the center, she met Frankie, a little guy that had been rescued from the drain pipe and was really scared. Miley decided to take good care of him, and they became happy friends. This wild piglet was likely to die. The little thing fell down into the well and couldn't get out. The poor piglet was moving all the time because if he stopped, he was sure to drown. But there were some kind-hearted people who wanted to help this tiny boy. One of them went down into the well. When a baby piglet had almost no force, he took the little creature out. The piglet was so scared and tired that he couldn't even resist when a man held him in his hands. After a good meal and some medical help, this boy was set free. It is a very sad story about the man who had to spend most of his time picking up scraps to earn extra income for his family. One day, he found an abandoned kitten there. Evidently, someone had thrown it in a garbage bag. The man heard the kitten meowing. When the man took it out, the little kitty was all dirty and shivering. The kind man took the kitten home, washed it, dried it, and left it in his house. Just imagine, what could have happened if the man hadn't come to that landfill that day and didn't find the poor kitten? A miracle, this kitten was lucky. A girl noticed him, and there was only an abandoned house nearby. The kitten cried from desperate attempts to get out of the iron shackles. The kid is stuck in a piece of iron pipe. He could not walk, and no one was there to help. Fortunately, the girl who heard him cry helped the baby to free the kitten. Some cat was seen nearby, possibly his mother. However, the kitten chose to follow his savior. The baby will now have a new and safe home. Apparently, these raccoon cubs were left orphans. Rescuers from Gates Wildlife Control came to rescue the kids. Rescuers removed the net from the roof and tried to reach the kids. The raccoons were already active and could escape. Rescuers blocked their exits and began to catch them from the side of the new hole. After a while, all 3 babies were caught. They were placed in a bag and then in a carrier. The rescuers had the hope that their mother would come for the children, and therefore they left them in a special cage on the roof. However, their mother did not come for them, and the babies were given to a new mother who happily accepted them. Due to Hurricane Laura, many marine mammals needed human help. For example, this bottlenose dolphin. The poor thing was in a roadside puddle formed after the storm. To help the dolphin, the people from different organizations teamed up and released the dolphin back to its native Gulf of Mexico. Or a little dog or piglet will fall into the water. From time to time, you have to rescue farm animals, for example, from an iron can in their mouth, or even to get a cow out of a narrow opening. Quite often, rescuers get animals out of wells and pits. Let's say thank you to all these people who save others' lives. This also happened in India. A cow had fallen down a sewer through a narrow opening and got stuck there. The ditch was about 4 feet deep, and trying to get out the animal, she was getting stuck more. Besides, the ditch was filled with muck ankle deep and was hard to navigate through. When the rescuers from Animal Rescues India arrived to the place, they found out the most difficult part will be making the cow turn and bring her backwards. The animal's head was facing away from the opening, and the specialists couldn't take her out in this way. It took them 35 minutes to do this. All the people were covered in mud, but very satisfied to bring her out of danger late at night. Not only cows, monitors, and leopards fall into wells. This time, a cute foxy turned out to be in this trap. To save the animal, the rescuers had to go down on the special construction and to try to take the fox up. But the creature was scared, aggressive, and didn't want to be caught at all. The struggle didn't finish, even when the man managed to catch the fox with the loop. The fox was continuously resisting. It's not clear how this little fellow got to the top of the dome home, which is located on one of the islands of Florida. But he was lucky that he was noticed in such an unusual place, and the police were able to save the poor kid from the trap.
Oh, Jesus! You want to put him underneath? Oh.
Now I think this raccoon will be more careful in choosing places for walking. The Hope for Paws rescuers got a call about a homeless dog that was extremely nervous and afraid of people. The rescuers' new workers gave her food, and they could find her near that place. On arriving, the rescuers wanted to trap her in the territory, but the dog was so scared and didn't come closer even when the people offered her a cheeseburger. But a bit later, she came into the yard, and the people sealed it. But it was quite a challenge to catch the dog. She was too aggressive, and the operation became dangerous for the rescuers. The dog didn't want to give up for a rather long time. Only in the evening, the hungry dog attracted by food got in the metal loop. The rescuers, with a lot of force, pulled the creature into the trap. The vets in the hospital were ready for such a complicated case and did their best to relax the poor thing. The dog turned out to have a fever and badly needed surgery. While being in the hospital, Natty, as the people called her, relaxed and was really trustful. A man rescued 2 cute abandoned squirrels from a bamboo stump. Such babies need care and should not be left alone. There would have been no chance to survive if this kind man hadn't decided to take care of them. Therefore, the man took them to his home and adopted these sweet babies. Now these 2 little cuties have a second chance to live a happy squirrel life. These little creatures were found half alive in the mountains of Utah. The traveling on a shoestring channel owners, who came across the baby skunks, left them at that place the first day, hoping their mother skunk would return for her babies. The next day, the people came back and found the little creatures there. They put them in the box and took them home. The family called a skunk rescue in Texas, and the specialist told them to feed the babies with goat's milk and call the local rehabilitation centers. But none of these centers wanted to take care of the babies. The problem was that it is illegal to rehabilitate skunks in the state of Utah. Desperately, the man posted to an animal rescue page online, asking for help. After that, the people got a call, telling them they immediately needed to take the post down or the authorities would come and take the babies. The family was in despair, but luckily, Sarah Jacobson from Wild Wonders saw the post also. She called and said she could take all 3 babies legally. The destinies of the cuties was happily settled. Every village around cities of Greece has countless stray animals. This female dog had been living in the streets for years until the volunteers from DAR Animal Rescue came to help. She was very friendly and felt calm near the people. But the poor thing was a bit sick, and the rescuers took her to the hospital. She had a lot of ticks and other health problems, so she had to stay at the vets. When the rescuers took her to the DAR center in a few days, The dog was a bit frustrated, but later she got used to her new place and felt better and better. She stayed in DAR Animal Rescue till she got recovered completely and was ready to find her forever family. One more rescuer went down on the rope to help. Two men at last managed to subdue the dangerous fox. They put it in the bag and placed it on the platform. Leaving the creature alone on the platform going up, they got out by the rope. Even getting free, the fox went on struggling. Only a few minutes later, the animal realized that it was free and rushed away from the people. Here is one more Indian organization that saves wild animals' lives. This time, Rescue Charitable Trust, India, rushed to save the leopard that got into a food trap. Firstly, the vets shot the wild cat with a sleeping mixture to calm it down. While the animal was sleeping, the rescuers took off the trap. Then, they put the leopard in a transport cage and brought it to the clinic where the doctors had to deal with its injuries. Hope it would be okay. The rescuers from Ocean Conservation Namibia spend their days monitoring the beaches in search of animals that need help. But severe sandstorms in Namibia prevented them from doing that at Pelican Point for some time. At last, they got to the beach to find a big male Cape fur seal adult with about 45 strands of fishing line wrapped around his neck and body. It took the activists 3 attempts to catch the naughty guy. The guys dragged the seal back to the beach from the water, and one of the rescuers, Denzil by name, started cutting the rope with scissors. When the frightened seal was set free, he nearly bit another rescuer, Nod. Luckily, the specialists are always as cautious as possible and nobody got hurt. The kid climbed under a rubbish compressor. Lori, without thinking twice, got under the press, but alas, he could not get to the fox. A metal beam blocked his path. Then the guys decided to act differently. Lori scared the fox from its place and the fox ran outside. There, Simon was already waiting for him, along with the grasper. It was obvious that the baby was not healthy, so he was taken to the veterinary clinic. The doctor diagnosed him with mange. The patient was given an injection and left in the hospital to recuperate and undergo a course of antibiotics. A week later, the baby was already healthy, and a few days later, the fox was released. A heartless owner left his poor dog on the street, so she had to survive and search for food. But on one unfortunate day, Kai Bao was hit by a car. She suffered a leg and pelvic injury. Fortunately, kind people helped her and provided medical help. Kai Bao now has a roof over her head, delicious food, and even a best friend she plays with every day. We all know that in the wild, little babies couldn't survive without their mothers. These nice bear cubs were found in the Krasnoyarsk forest in Russia near the mom that had lost her life. The people that found them took the guys to a farm where they were given some milk and honey. Of course, the adorable cubs touched the heart of the rescuers and the people started taking good care of them. But these are real wild animals. That's why they needed to have a more suitable home. And when the cubs grew a little bit bigger, they were taken to the shelter near Moscow. Here they will grow up and be ready to come back. Victor Larkhill channel does great work to rescue animals that suffer. Now his team is saving a dog, Lily by name. Lily spent days lost in the fields, running not far from the road. She didn't let people approach her, as she was too terrified. She got lost during the flood. When the rescuers caught her, she went under the seat in the car and they couldn't get her out. The people took her to the hospital. Physically, the dog was okay, but her psycho was in terrible condition. She spent some time in the hospital, but then stayed with the team in the shelter. Step by step, Lily calmed down and loved the people around. She was with her rescuers until she was adopted. When the rescuers from Animal Aid Unlimited India found this dog, it looked like a really old one. The poor creature suffered terribly from advanced mange. It made her have intense itchiness and crusted skin, which broke apart in massive cracks as a result. The people took her to the hospital, where the specialists started to give her a course of mange therapy that was sure to take several days. In spite of being frightened, she ate well and took medicine baths and therapy with patience. And when she got well, she became the happiest and the most cheerful dog in the hospital at that time. Now she really is well. Typically leave their children when they are in search of food and always come back. And taking these little fawn home was strictly forbidden. So the man had to bring the animal to the natural reserve. Hope for Paws received a call from their Pacific wildlife rescue friends about small skunks stuck in an outdoor jacuzzi. It was raining heavily, and it was scary for the kids. Their mother circled around the jacuzzi for hours without rest, trying to get her children out. But when she saw the rescuers, she ran away to the side and watched the situation from a safe distance. At first, the rescuers thought to build them a ramp, and they themselves would get out so that the kids would not spray anyone with a smelly liquid. But Loretta Francognette was not afraid to be sprayed and wanted to get the kids herself. She loves helping animals. So she did. She took out the babies one by one from that trap. There were 6 of them. The kids were already pretty strong guys, especially the latter. He stood in a wary pose and, if necessary, was ready for battle. But he and Loretta found a common ground. All but the first baby quickly found their mother. The first one, though, got a little lost. The rescuers helped him and carried him personally to his mother. The family was